I would say that they're more surprises because they have beginnings, middles, and ends. They're not like, it's not just like a, hey, there's the person and we move on. It's they're there for a reason.
The news of Ryan Reynolds being stripped of his ownership role at Wrexham Football Club sent shockwaves far beyond the typical sports audience. Known and loved for his unique involvement with the club, the sudden decision to remove him came as a bolt from the blue. The justification for this drastic measure was even more surprising. A series of untruths linked to his wife, Blake Lively, led to his ousting. The transition from a quirky, endearing tale of Hollywood intersecting with soccer to a major scandal has left many scrambling for answers and divided public opinion. As Wrexham fans mourn the loss of a co-owner they had come to embrace, the wider world is left pondering the strange events that culminated in this shocking turn of events. From the moment Ryan Reynolds teamed up with Rob McElhenney to take over Wrexham, the fans responded with both wonder and optimism. It seemed like something out of a Hollywood script, two comedic actors stepping in to revive a storied Welsh football club with promises of elevating its fortunes.
She just had a baby too and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a fan.
Ryan's direct involvement, attending matches, engaging warmly with fans, and frequently posting supportive messages online, crafted an image of an owner deeply connected beyond mere financial interest. This was a stark contrast to the usual distant investors who hardly ever visit the team's home grounds. For over a year, the fans celebrated this new chapter, lauding Ryan and Rob for bringing both enthusiasm and much-needed resources to a club that had been struggling to ascend to higher leagues. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's personal life captured the attention of pop culture enthusiasts as well. The couple's playful exchanges on social media, interviews filled with laughter, and their combined celebrity appeal made them a captivating pair. Fans were charmed by their ability to maintain a sense of normalcy despite their fame. However, unknown to many, there were underlying tensions brewing. Sources close to them revealed that Blake's involvement in a new project, the film adaptation of the novel It Ends With Us, which she directed and co-wrote with Justin Baldoni, triggered issues that eventually impacted Ryan's professional activities at Wrexham.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious. Honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious.
Initially, the film adaptation of It Ends With Us seemed an ideal project for Blake Lively, aligning well with her interest in a story that had captivated literary fans. With Justin Baldoni, known for his emotive storytelling, expectations were high for a harmonious collaboration. However, rumors soon surfaced of discord on set, including frequent script changes and concerns that Blake felt marginalized by Justin's dominant creative vision. Such behind-the-scenes challenges are not unusual in Hollywood, but the intensity of these rumors was unexpected. Early reports blamed Justin for being too controlling, possibly minimizing Blake's contributions. Many quickly defended Blake, pointing out how women in leading roles are often underrepresented in Hollywood's power structures. Yet, as more details emerged, the narrative shifted. Leaked text messages from the set, shared among industry insiders, painted a different picture, suggesting Blake might have been crafting a narrative that served her interests. These texts hinted she might leverage Ryan Reynolds' influence and public stature to manipulate media portrayal in her favor, positioning herself as the wronged party and casting aspersions on others involved. This revelation indicated that Blake was possibly relying on Ryan's celebrity to generate support and frame the narrative to her advantage.
She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. Identifies it.
For a while, the unsettling details surrounding Blake's film project remained confined to a select group. However, as the rumors intensified, they eventually reached Rob McElhenney. As a friend and co-owner of Wrexham with Ryan Reynolds, Rob found himself in a delicate position, hearing contrasting stories. On one side, Justin Baldoni expressed frustration over being misrepresented, and on the other, Blake claimed she was merely defending her professional integrity. Initially, Rob was hesitant to involve himself in what seemed a personal matter that didn't directly affect him. Ryan, for his part, tried to remain neutral, focusing on promoting Wrexham and its community, which had embraced him enthusiastically. However, the fallout from Blake's project began to seep into the public domain as tensions from the set became social media fodder. Observers noted a change in Ryan's usually upbeat online persona, speculating that the stress from his wife's professional woes was taking a toll on him.
Tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I can. This is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I mean, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have one on my list. I don't have anyone on my list.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
No, it's so much more of a burn. He's like, wait, who? And I was like, okay, think of someone. Bob Newhart. I don't know.
The situation escalated when documents surfaced among Wrexham's board members, suggesting that Ryan might be leveraging his co-ownership to support Blake in ways that could conflict with the football club's interests. Although the specifics were initially unclear, the mere hint that Ryan's personal life might be interfering with his responsibilities at Wrexham caused unease among the club's staunchest supporters. The initial response from the board was cryptic, mentioning only ongoing discussions regarding Ryan Reynolds' ownership stake in Wrexham. This vague statement was enough to ignite concern among fans, sparking intense debate across social media.
I think the idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
Some argued that Ryan's contributions to the club were too valuable to lose over an error in judgment, while others demanded transparency, troubled by the rumors. The situation reached a climax when the club made a shocking announcement. Ryan was being removed as co-owner due to breaches of trust related to misinformation. The club's statement was carefully worded to maintain diplomacy, emphasizing the actions they believed compromised Wrexham's integrity without explicitly mentioning Blake Lively or Justin Baldoni. However, industry insiders quickly connected the dots. Subsequent leaks revealed that the issues surrounding Blake's film project had indeed influenced Ryan's decisions at Wrexham. Whistleblowers claimed that Blake had encouraged Ryan to manipulate his influence over the club to gain favorable media treatment. This included allegedly directing Ryan to arrange exclusive interviews with specific outlets that would downplay the negative aspects of Blake's on-set issues in return. These actions, while perhaps subtle individually, together painted a troubling picture of misuse of power and position, leading to Ryan's dramatic dismissal from the club's ownership.
I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover.
Rob McElhenney found himself in an unenviable position as the controversy surrounding Ryan Reynolds unfolded. Initially, Rob had been a staunch supporter of Ryan, sharing a vision for rejuvenating Wrexham and a comedic rapport that resonated well with fans, making them a beloved duo. However, as tensions escalated with revelations about Ryan's maneuvers to support his wife's troubled film project, Rob had to face a changing dynamic, fielding tough questions from both the board and disheartened supporters. Calls for transparency and accountability within the club led to demands for an internal review, ultimately urging Ryan to temporarily step aside during the investigation. Ryan complied, although he maintained that his actions were driven by a desire to shield his wife from professional hardship, with no ill intentions towards the club. Some board members may have felt sympathy for Ryan's personal dilemma, recognizing the complex interplay between personal and professional life. Yet, the potential damage to Wrexham's reputation from any perceived manipulation was too significant to overlook. For a club under new high-profile ownership, maintaining credibility was paramount, and the risk of retaining Ryan amidst the swirling allegations became untenable.
Just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a femme.
Ryan.
Consequently, the board made the difficult decision to sever ties with Ryan, a decision aimed at protecting the integrity of the club, marking a definitive end to his once celebrated involvement with Wrexham. This action underscored the harsh realities of mixing personal issues with professional responsibilities, especially in the spotlight of public scrutiny. The public statement released by Wrexham was concise, yet loaded with implications. It spoke of a loss of trust and pointed to patterns of misrepresentation, carefully avoiding direct accusations of deceit against Ryan Reynolds, but clearly underscoring the potential harm to the club's reputation. Rob McElhenney, now the sole high-profile figure from the original takeover, found himself in a precarious position. His once celebrated partnership with Ryan overshadowed by controversy. In response, Rob's social media went quiet, reflecting the gravity of the situation and the loss felt by the community. The sense of betrayal was profound among the fans. They had invested their hopes in the promise brought by the comedic duo's vision and enthusiasm for the club, only to see it unravel suddenly. The uncertainty and disappointment were deeply felt, leaving a void where there once was optimism. Meanwhile, the drama surrounding Blake Lively added fuel to the Hollywood gossip mills. Her attorney's abrupt withdrawal and her alleged manipulation of the media narrative concerning her film project raised eyebrows.
I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover.
Reports suggested that Blake viewed Ryan's involvement with Wrexham not just as a personal venture, but as a tool to mitigate the negative press surrounding her. The leaked text messages seemed to confirm that she might have been leveraging the club's media reach to control the narrative around her professional challenges. Debate raged over Ryan's role in this strategy. Questions lingered about whether he had actively agreed to use Wrexham's promotional mechanisms to influence media coverage favorably towards Blake, or whether he was unwittingly caught in a situation spiraling beyond his control. The extent of his consent and awareness became central issues, stirring heated discussions about the boundaries between personal loyalty and professional integrity. For the fans of Wrexham, the unfolding scandal served as a harsh reality check. The allegations, if true, suggested that a beloved chapter in the club's history had been compromised by the manipulative actions of a Hollywood star. The emotional response was visceral. Online, supporters expressed their disillusionment, some going as far as to burn replicas of the Wrexham shirts Ryan had helped make iconic. While some fans dismissed the accusations as exaggerated, the decision by the board was final. Even potential evidence vindicating Ryan seemed unlikely to repair the deep-seated damage. The once strong connection between Ryan, Rob, and the Wrexham community appeared irreparably strained. Journalists sought Justin Baldoni's perspective, as the root of the controversy seemed to originate from his film set.
She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. identifies.
Justin remained circumspect in his comments, focusing on his intent to foster a respectful work environment and expressing regret that the situation had negatively impacted external parties like Wrexham. His reticence to discuss Ryan's specific actions further fueled media speculation, with interpretations varying from Justin being cautious and fact-gathering to relief at the shift of media focus from his own role. As the initial shock of Wrexham's announcement began to settle, new details emerged from the production side of It Ends With Us. A producer hinted at efforts, allegedly led by Blake, to discredit anyone within the production who dissented, portraying them as unprofessional or biased through orchestrated social media campaigns. While Ryan was not directly implicated in these smear tactics, communications suggested he had at least endorsed some form of strategy to shift public focus. The term diversionary tactics was interpreted by some as an attempt to overshadow negative press with positive stories about Wrexham's revival. Unfortunately, such strategies dramatically backfired when the club's leadership caught wind of the misuse, exacerbating an already volatile situation. Amid the flurry of rumors and reactions, this scandal invited comparisons to past Hollywood controversies marked by leaked texts, shifting allegiances, and dramatic public relations battles. However, Ryan's situation was distinct because it implicated an entire football club, a beacon of community pride and renewal.
We always tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I can. This is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I mean, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have 1 on my list. I didn't have anyone on my list.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
No, it's so much more of a burn. He's like, wait, who? And I was like, okay, think of someone.
Right.
Bob Newhart, I don't know.
Wrexham had not only revitalized local enthusiasm, but had also attracted a global following. Largely due to the charm and authenticity Ryan and Rob brought to their roles as co-owners. Now, with Ryan ousted under dubious circumstances, there were doubts about the team's ability to maintain the newfound global interest. Questions arose about whether Rob could sustain the momentum and rally the community's support, or if the disillusionment would dampen the club's recent gains. In response to the crisis, the club convened an extraordinary meeting for members, including season ticket holders and local supporters who lined up for clarity and answers. While details of the meeting were kept private, it was reported that the board faced numerous questions about oversight and future safeguards, addressing how the leadership could prevent similar issues. The board reiterated its prompt action upon suspecting a breach of trust and expressed regret for any upset caused, affirming their decision to remove Ryan. Meanwhile, Ryan addressed the public with a statement on social media that some criticized as insufficient. He conveyed his continued affection for Wrexham and attributed any issues to his protective instincts towards his wife. However, he avoided delving into the specifics of the accusations, particularly not discussing the leaked texts that had damaged both his and Blake's standing. His vague response drew criticism for apparent evasion of responsibility. Fans, once unified in their support, now found themselves polarized. Some expressed gratitude for past joys, while others sought a more forthright acknowledgement of his role in the controversy. Rob McElhenney's statement in the wake of the controversy struck a balance between melancholy and determination. He expressed deep appreciation for Ryan Reynolds' role in their shared vision for Wrexham, while also acknowledging the necessity of the board's unanimous decision for the club's well-being.
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily is that was so fascinating to me, is that she's a walking, talking contradiction, yet it's perfectly harmonious.
Rob assured fans that the journey they started together would continue, promising that the club would remain in dedicated hands and that the community's interests would remain central to all decisions. His words offered some comfort to fans, though many acknowledged that healing from the scandal would take time. The resilience of Wrexham supporters is notable. In online forums, they recount past challenges the club has faced, like financial troubles and near relegations. Despite the current controversy, many fans remain optimistic, praising Rob for his commitment to the community and his ability to make difficult decisions when needed. Some even retain a sense of gratitude towards Ryan for the initial excitement and attention he brought to the club, despite how things ended. Ryan Reynolds' ousting from Wrexham is a stark chapter in sports history filled with alleged hidden agendas and dramatic consequences. The controversy centered around Blake Lively's disputed actions highlights how personal ambitions can complicate professional environments, particularly in an era where social media and celebrity influence rapidly alter narratives. Whether the full details of the situation will ever be completely revealed is uncertain, but the impact is clear. The unity once celebrated at Wrexham has been disrupted, trust within the community has been eroded, and Blake's professional integrity has come under scrutiny. As time moves on, the focus will likely shift back to the football itself. But the echoes of this controversy will endure in the history of Wrexham and serve as a cautionary tale about the intersections of celebrity culture with community-driven aspirations. The enduring spirit of the Wrexham community, however, suggests a capacity to overcome adversity and grow stronger. Meanwhile, the future actions of Ryan and Blake will be closely monitored, their motives analyzed for authenticity or self-interest, all through the prism of a scandal that took everyone by surprise.